You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Excited about having you guys join in with us. Man, it has been an interesting week, interesting 2 weeks, to be honest with you. And man, what a world we're living in. Coronavirus, COVID-19. Let's talk about it. I don't want to spread fear. I don't want to spread, panic. I just want to give you guys my thoughts. I want to give you my thoughts as an entrepreneur, somebody who's a peer, somebody that's right in here in the thick of it with you guys, and just give you my observations, man. It has been an interesting 2 weeks, and I've seen just an amplification of everybody's thought process, beliefs, what's guiding their decision making. And man, if you're looking around, paying attention, I don't know, are you guys ever like a people watcher? Like you guys observe people? You know, it's kind of funny. My wife and I will go to the mall, and anytime we're in the mall, sometimes I'll just find me sitting down with a little cup of pretzels from Auntie Anne's, right, or whatever, and just dipping my pretzels in my cheese, just kind of sit on those couches and just watch people go by. Like, look at what people are doing, what people are buying, what people are wearing. You can start kind of almost not judging people, but like evaluating people, right? And I'm kind of doing the same thing on my social media. I'm sure a lot of you guys are. The things that get shared, the things that get amped up, the things that get amplified. It's been a crazy couple days. So here's what I want to do. I want to talk about opportunity in the marketplace. I want to talk about what Liz and I are doing. I want to talk about what I think about the whole pandemic in general. We're going to talk about the economy. We're going to cover a couple different things. I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to pontificate. I'm not here to get in your grill, but anything like that. Hopefully we'll keep it light and fun. But so many people are DMing me and asking my thoughts. And you know what? Here's the deal. To be totally honest with you, I didn't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to get into the fight with coronavirus, but the coronavirus got in the fight with us. What do I mean by that? Well, the last couple of weeks, I've done quite a handful of coaching calls. I get a lot of info, a lot of DMs from a lot of people, and I've been answering a lot of questions, which is somewhat related to, Brian, are you going to be doing landscaping? Brian, I'm losing customers. Are you? Brian, I was going to be buying this $10,000 lawnmower, and now I'm not sure if I want to go through with it. Brian, I'm going to be going full time. I was about to put in my 2-week notice, but now my employer is asking me for time and a half because there's a demand for, we're in trucking, and now what do I do? And so I don't know if I should put in my 2 weeks. Am I able to get more customers? I personally have a couple customers that are canceling. It's like, no, I'm going to be home. It looks like for the next 8 weeks. If we need you in spring or summer, we'll call you to resume service, but I'm going to handle it as we go into spring. So I didn't start this fight with Corona. Corona started this fight with us, and so once it became personal, it became more personal for me once they closed the dang restaurants. Okay, when I heard that Chick-fil-A and Chipotle and Buffalo Wild Wings was closing, and you guys know me, I eat out 8 days a week. That's when it really became personal. That's when I started to panic, and that's when we went to the grocery store like a weirdo and loaded up a shopping cart full of food. Right. So anyway, just having some fun here. Let's hear from the announcements, and we'll jump right back into it.
Looking to outfit your trailer with the best racks in the industry? Head over to Equipment Defender. Be secure, look professional, be organized, stop thieves and damage in their tracks. Equipment Defender has racks for backpack blowers, trimmers, gas cans, backpack sprayers, and more. Stay organized, stay secure with Equipment Defender. All Equipment Defender racks work in either open or enclosed trailers. Get secure and organized today at equipmentdefender.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Equipment Defender.
All right, cool deal. Well, hey, appreciate you guys that are supporting Equipment Defender with the Brian's 10 code. If you guys are upgrading your trailer racks and whatnot for enclosed trailers and utility trailers, they're ambidextrous is what I think I sent a message to one of you guys, which I don't know if that's the right word, but you can use them in enclosed or utility trailers, which is awesome. And it goes right back into supporting the channel. So shout out to Equipment Defender. Thanks for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. So, there's two oars in the water here that we could talk about. If you're like a little rowboat here, there's two things going on at once. Number one is fear. And the other one is faith. One is fear, one is opportunity, right? And fear and faith, they can't coexist. So, here's the deal. I've already seen a lot of fear. I think a lot of you guys have seen a lot of fear. I think a lot of you guys are exposed to it as much as I am, even though I really, really, really try to get off social media. I produce content. I don't really consume about 1% of it. I try to filter out the good stuff, and I consume that. Everything else, I don't need to hear everybody else's opinions about whatever they got going on Facebook. Because if it's not helping me grow my life, and my businesses, then quite honestly, then it just doesn't really need my time of day to go into my thought process. If you enjoy this podcast, by the time it's done, you want to listen to a 1-2 punch, check out the episode titled "Who Are You Listening To?" It's one of our earlier episodes. I think you guys will really enjoy it. It gives a little bit more context to people giving you advice out there on the internet and how to weed that out and be a fruit inspector. But anyway, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the opportunity that's ahead of us, because here's the deal. I don't want to sound like I'm being rude. I don't want to sound like a jerk. I don't want to talk about making money while other people are being afraid or fearful. Like, here's the deal. I'm not trying to make money off of people's fear. I'm not trying to make money while other people are like losing their jobs and people can't find food or put food on the table. That's not my point here. We're not doing that. We're not being mean or evil. We're not CNN and fake news. Okay, they're the ones that are spreading this pandemic, and they're fanning the flame, and all the mainstream media, and they're just going crazy eating this up. Why? One word: ratings. What is ratings? Rating is revenue. Ratings is profit, right? So imagine, how many people are tuning in to all the nightly news channels right now. And, if you're Verizon or Charmin, you want to run ads. I mean, talk about a 1-2 punch. Now, I'm not an economist. I'm not I have that massive macro level where I'm going to start touting out my opinion and my advice. But let's just say that I think it's going to be really obvious here that who's the evil players out there, different countries that where maybe this thing originated from. There's more that you can go down that rabbit hole, but I'll leave that up to all the media pundits and all the political pundits, the Ben Shapiros. We'll let them weigh on it. Let's keep it practical for our business. Let's talk about the green industry, the lawn landscape industry. Well, here's the deal. I'm looking for opportunity everywhere around us. Why? Because that's what an entrepreneur does, right? Even though that the world is ending, when the world's ending, it's not ending, it's evolving. There's transitions, there's transformations, right? So as an entrepreneur, I'm looking for one thing. I'm trying to find the opportunity right now of what's going on around me. Where is the opportunity? That whether this pandemic ends, whether it ends us, that's a whole nother story. But once this moves forward, there's going to be other things. There's going to be, I don't want to wish negative on anybody or anything that's listening, but there's going to be other obstacles and other things that are going to come up. And as an entrepreneur, your guiding thought process should be, where's the opportunity? Where can I, profit? How can I create profit? And that's just what an entrepreneur does. That's just what any smart person would do. I mean, if somebody's, screaming across town, "Hey, 4 tires are on sale," and you don't tell your friend about it, like, why would you not try to get your friend hooked up? I mean, like, hey, this is what we're doing with this podcast. It's what I'm trying to help you guys do. So as entrepreneurs, we're trying to find the opportunity in this. And for me, it always comes down to one word: market share. Like, I'm trying to get market share for my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get market share for my podcast. I'm trying to get market share for my lawn and landscape company. I'm trying to find real estate deals right now. I don't think we're there yet where, that's going to go on sale. I don't think we have a repeat in that capacity of 07, 08 with the subprime mortgage crisis. That was an entirely different animal. But right now, if you're a big stock picker guy and you want to stock trade and day trade and do the whole deal, it's pretty interesting right now what is on sale in terms of stocks. And I was reading all this different financial stuff over the last handful of years, and it's just you see how fast the economy can rebound in a year, the percentage base of that, how fast the economy can rebound in 3 years, the percentage of that, so on and so forth. So right now, you got to be looking for the opportunity. Where is the money being made? So that's just one thing that I wanted to kind of start this whole conversation off with. My lawn and landscape company, guys, I'll be honest with you. Let's keep it real. We're losing work too. So are you guys. We're losing the bigger stuff. But here's the deal. I'm not a big landscape company. I'm a maintenance company. And so many people throw me under the bus for just being a lawn care guy, a maintenance guy. I don't know by revenue, but probably 70+% of our business is maintenance, right? We do the mulch, we do the weeding, we do the some pruning, we do what else, guys? The snow removal, of course, but we're going in the spring. But, honestly, people still need the grass cut. Like, even if there's a social distancing, even if there's a B, C, D, E, F, G, non-essential this, essential that, like, dude, the world is not going to end and people are not going to want the grass cut. Like, that's just period. You might lose 10% of my mowing accounts because people are going to be doing it from home. Or somebody might lose their job and can't afford it anymore. That's totally understandable. But I'm not going to lose 50% of my mowing in 2 weeks here because the world is ending, because it's a pretty essential service. Like, I'm not saying it's a luxury service. I'm not saying that we're not, going to lose business, but there's some people that just can't do it, don't want to do it. They're in high profile positions. They're traveling. They have responsibility. They got kids. They're older. They're elderly. They're allergic. All these different things. So, we're going to lose some landscaping. So are you guys. But here's the deal. I've been saying this for years. And again, there's so many people that throw me under the bus behind the scenes with bigger landscape companies and, all these guys doing these huge brick paver things and patios, and they're like, man, mowing's for losers, like mowing's for losers. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then those same people right now are just flaming on Instagram and Facebook. Oh, I just lost this $50,000 job, this $25,000 job, this $15,000 job, that. We're going to lose 50% of our work. And it's like, my heart goes out to those people. Like, it really does. Like, I'm actually pretty sympathetic and pretty empathetic. Of course, I don't think they ever apologize after people make digs to me saying, Brian, you're smart to make sure that you always have what you always called pay the bill money, pay the bill money. So if you don't have lawn maintenance work, it's kind of that pay the bill money. It's like that fallback, some people start off their lawn business and they're 90-10 mowing to hardscaping or landscaping. And then they get smart, they get cute, they think they're smart. Everybody has looked smart the last 3, 4, 5 years. I've been saying this for years. Everybody feels like they're the smartest guy in the room the last 4 or 5 years. And little O'Brien is just the mow and blow guy. Mow and blow, 150 grand, mow and blow, mow and blow. And I'm not saying like gotcha. I'm not putting it in anybody's face. Quite honestly, if you guys know me, I really do care. I do not want to see people lose 20, 30, 50% of their business overnight. I mean, there's real ramifications to that. But I've been screaming like the town crier in town saying, hey, like the British are coming. Don't just focus on the big ticket stuff. Now, here's the deal. The flip side of that is maybe you have been doing all the big ticket stuff. Cool. What are you doing with the money that you've been making? Did you go in the last 3 or 4 years buy like that $80,000 Duramax diesel big truck? I mean, I really, really have told so many people, like, live below your means, be conservative, get out of bad debt. And so, if you've heeded these warnings and you've been intelligent enough to, again, people watch and people observe and, seeing everything is going great. Yes, things are going really, really good, but you still have to have those contingencies. You still have to live below your means. Liz and I live on 1/10 of what we make. I mean, we don't. I mean, not probably 25th of what we make. Like, it doesn't even. If I could lose 80% of my business and still be okay. Not that I'm a big deal. Trust me, I do not want to lose 80% of what we make. But even with how much like my lifestyle is right now, like I've always tried to keep that margin, that margin. So. Okay, so hindsight's 2020. Good for everybody. Good for us all learning these lessons now. But just remember, history repeats itself. I'm a big history buff. I thoroughly love learning history, and you'll hear that statement a lot. History repeats itself, and there's nothing that history won't teach you about the future. To be totally frank with you. So what does that mean? Well, hey, in 2 years, 4 years, 8, 10, 12 years from now, when there's another stock market correction, different elections, Trump's got another probably 4 years in the bag at this point, as long as elections go on, which is a whole nother story. But what about once Trump's done? Is there going to be a Democratic challenger that could dethrone whoever the new Republican presidential nominee is going to be? Is it going to be Donald Trump Jr.? Nobody knows. Is it going to be Candace Owens? Nobody knows. I don't think it's going to be Ben Shapiro. He said that he doesn't want to do this mess. But you guys know what I'm saying. What happens with if a Democrat gets in office? What if a Republican gets in office? It doesn't matter what side. The bottom line is that you can do more for your life, your family, your business than any presidential candidate ever will. Like, none of these people are coming to save you, if that makes sense. So you have to always be defensive, always be offensive. You have to think. And sometimes that's a tough pill to swallow, because here's the deal. Imagine this. And here's what I say all that just to say this. Entrepreneurship is not easy. Like, it's not easy, dude. And I get so frustrated because there's so many people that have been an entrepreneur the last 3, 4, 5 years, and they look smart. They've made money. They feel good. They look good. They're touting off business advice. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's interesting. That's not what I would be doing, But everybody gets a voice, right? Everybody's got a Facebook. Everybody's got a podcast. Everybody's got everything to say. But here's the deal. I've also noticed, and let me know if you guys have seen this too. I've also noticed that as soon as the crap hit the fan, these are the exact same people that are now saying, I want to be part of the stimulus. I want to get a government check. I want to get a bailout. I want to get a handout. This is going to crush my business. This is going to end the economy. Well, here's the deal, dude. The actual definition of an entrepreneur is somebody who takes the full risk and responsibility of an enterprise, and generally speaking, it's attributed to a larger financial risk. So what does that mean? So as I look at it, I see everybody who's an entrepreneur and a capitalist, like the softies are the first ones that throw in the towel and say, I want a handout. I want a government-backed loan. I want to be secured. I want, you want somebody else to come bail you out. So wait a minute. When the good times were good, you're a capitalist. But when the hits the fan, now you want to have somebody come and support you. Are you freaking kidding me? That's like being like somewhat pregnant. Like, you either are pregnant or you're not pregnant. Like, you can't be halfway pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're like, well, I want a can of pop from the pop machine, it's $1, so I'm going to put in 50 cents, and because I only put in 50 cents, I want half a can of pop. No, it doesn't work like that. You're either all in as an entrepreneur for the good times or the bad times, or you're not an entrepreneur and you're just a hobby business owner touting around thinking that it's cool to be an entrepreneur because you want to put photos on your Instagram and say you listen to Gary Vee. Like, dude, I'm just going to be real. Like, this is the unfiltered part that nobody gets to ever check you or check me. Like, I've understood because I became more financially afloat the last 5 to 10 years. But because I started at zero, I have such an immense appreciation for the struggle. Again, like I've talked about this on a recent podcast. I just dropped an episode. I actually be dropping tomorrow. It's called Don't Dull the Scalpel. It's my get out of debt, debt-free story, but it's talking about how I utilized good debt to get myself out of being poor. I mean, literally poor, like a loser, like poor in society. And if you want to use that, great. If you don't, I don't care. But the bottom line is that it took me 10, 12 years to get to my life to get back to zero. So what am I trying to say is that I have such an appreciation for free enterprise and capitalism because there was no guarantee. I don't want guarantees. I just want a guarantee of an opportunity, not a guarantee of outcome. And again, I just see so many people right now that are like, well, I think I should be getting time and a half at my job. If they want me to come in, I want time and a half. No, you're not entitled to time and a half. You're entitled to nothing. Nothing in this country, nothing in this world. And if you don't like that, then you just don't understand entrepreneurship and capitalism. Like, I'm just being real. I'm just being really, really, really real. This is unfiltered. This is stuff that your grandpa talked about back when you were like 7 years old, and you just didn't hear this from your public education. You didn't hear this from college. And you know what? Maybe it's the first time somebody's talking straight truth to you guys. Now, again, I can't throw all this up on YouTube because half of the people lose their dang mind because they just want to see a chainsaw review video. That's fine. I get it. That's the forum for YouTube. But on this podcast, we're going to shoot it straight. You want it unfiltered. This is the unfiltered stuff that you guys wanted to hear about how Brian Fullerton and Brian's Law Maintenance thinks. Now, again, I've been trying to tell you guys for a long time also to diversify your income, diversify your assets. So we're just doing a quick little case study. Like, hey, maybe hindsight's 2020 now, but a lot of people, they had that one table leg, if you will, for financial income. And I'm not being mean. I'm not trying to be insensitive. Trust me. Listen, if anybody understands this right now, it's me, because I got family that have a one source of income. But how many times have you heard people say for a decade plus, for 25 years, diversify your income? You have all these different expenses. Don't just diversify your investments, diversify your income. All the people that, how many people are hurting right now that have been offered stock in something an investment into something, an angel investment into something, a network marketing opportunity, a real estate investment course, a real estate flipping course, to start a YouTube channel, to start an Instagram, to be a social media influencer, which I hate that, but you guys know what I'm saying. You can make a couple bucks. Where are all these people now that are, saying that they demand time and a half from their job? I mean, really, like think about that. The exact same people that have one source of income are now demanding a government paycheck of $1,000 a month and a stimulus for $1,000 a month. But yeah, they were the ones that literally decided to go out, party, and drink and buy stupid stuff and buy Yeezys, while their other friend started a network marketing business or started an online FBA business with Amazon or started a tech review channel on YouTube. And I don't know. I'm just talking out loud. Maybe what do I know, right? I mean, what do I know? Again, here's the last thing I'll say about this is diversify your income. If you can't do it today, start doing it in the next 10 years because history will repeat itself. Now, the other side of the coin is when you're talking about diversifying your income and you're talking about all these things that are going out of business. Well, here's the deal. All these different industries, here's the deal. Americans the last 25 years have become really, really lazy. Just lazy, lethargic, and business will always be the way it always is. There's a book out there. It was called Who Moved My Cheese, right? And everybody's like, man, have you read this book? It was like the #1 business book for like every company, every CEO is like recommending it on their executive reading list. I know my brother was in corporate America, 3 different companies, and every company, the first company he went to, they're like, dude, you need to read this book, man. The Dichotomy of Leadership, Principles by Ray Dalio. You need to read John Maxwell, 360-Degree Leader. And then it was Who Moved My Cheese? I forget the author, right? And it's like, man, this is like the best book ever. That's what we're doing here at this company. We're not going to just be the status quo. We're not going to just know what always works, has always been done, and we'll just be successful. We're gonna be the out front forward thinking company. Okay, so when the concept is like once just because something's already been done the same way doesn't mean it'll be like that done forever. Who moved my cheese? So like once the rat learned the maze, well then they moved the cheese. Now what? You're gonna get pissed because they moved the cheese. Well, here's the deal. Where's everybody being all business entrepreneurship and positive and an entrepreneur? Intrapreneur. Where is all this like positive attitude now about your business? Now everybody immediately, because we've been trained for the last 15 to 20, 25 years to have this communistic, socialistic mindset. Again, we're talking entrepreneurship and capitalism on this podcast. And so you've been trained to start pointing the finger at everybody else and then point the finger at the government that they need to help you out. No. When one finger points out, what's the old one? 3 fingers are pointing back. So that's true responsibility. That's true extreme ownership, as Jocko would say. So here's the deal. Companies are changing. Companies are feeling the effects. They're not as diversified as they thought, or supply chains are messed up, or they're relying on China to manufacture. Okay, I get it. The same people need to understand that out of this situation, where is the opportunity? The opportunity is to be fluid. The opportunity is to be flexible. The opportunity is to change, to grow, to develop, to learn, to reposition, to get market share. Here's the deal. You look back at 1900, right? There's an old one about the buggy whip business. So it's an old analogy, but it's worth repeating because, back in 1900 or, 1880, 1890, automobiles were just kind of starting to come out. 1890, the first one starts rolling out, and it's back in like the old gray and white footage that we all have seen in the movies, right? It's like hopping up and down on like oblong wheels, and it's got a little smokestack, and who knows what this thing is, right? And the horse and buggy people are like, what is this? This is nonsense. This infernal contraption. It's stinky. It's loud. It's burning fuel, and it's like people are what is this thing, right? And Thomas or Henry Ford, he said, if I would have gave the people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses, right? And so what did he do? He gave them automobiles. He gave them the assembly line. Well, here's the deal. The horse and buggy business, they did not like change. They did not like this automobile thing, and one of the suppliers, one of the distributors, one of the people in business was the horse and buggy whip. Well, it's like a whip for the horse. So if you want the horse to move, you need to whip the horse. So literally, there's people that was an industry. That was no different than somebody who supplies tires at a Dunlop or a Dow Chemical that supplies products and services to a automotive supplier today, right? There's somebody back then that to the whole horse and buggy business, somebody was the wheel guy. Somebody was the carriage guy. Somebody was the horse, chains that, steer the horses. Somebody was making those wood planks that go in between the horses. So there was a supply chain to make the horse and buggy. And the one guy was the whip. And eventually the whip guy, he went out of business. Why? Because he didn't change. Because the automotive companies or the automobile came into being. And you know what? That horse and buggy whip guy, he went out of business. Now, here's the thing. The horse and buggy whip guy, maybe he was really good at, working with threads, working with, I don't even know what a whip is made out of, horse hairs, right? I don't even know. But whatever material that guy was at, he was probably good with polyester, probably good with cotton, probably good with nylons. Well, maybe that guy could have been the seat manufacturer. He could have changed his business to be making those nylon seats, or to, make a horse hair or a shoe brush that he could put on the running board of this new automobile, because somebody's got to scrape and wipe off their boots before they get into their automobile, right? But did the guy change? Probably not. Did 99% of people who make horse and buggy whips go out of business? Yes. So, okay, well, what does that mean in today's world? Again, we're seeing it. What's the opportunity? Things change. The cheese moves. You got to be looking and changing. You can never, here's the point. You can never get lazy. You can never pay today's rent with yesterday's dues. I mean, for crying out loud, how many times do I got to do a podcast where I say, you never quite own success. You can only rent it. And those dues are due every single day, right? You have to pay those dues every single day. So there's people right now that are like, well, I want the government to protect me, and I want the government to protect my business. No, there's no room for government in your business if you're an entrepreneur and if you're a capitalist. That's not how entrepreneurship works. That might be how you think pseudo-entrepreneurship works when you are on Instagram and all of your buddies think that they're entrepreneurs, right? Oh, this guy, man, I got this friend. He's a real estate guru, dude. He's got 4 rentals, and man, he's had his rent paid from these rentals for 7 years. And, dude, he just bought a new Ducati. Okay, fast forward 2 years later, a year later, 5 years later, something happens, and maybe he goes out of business. Now he doesn't sound that intelligent. So don't listen to, me. I'm not trying to give you guys advice about what to do. I'm just giving you thought process about how to evaluate, how to observe. I'll tell you what I'm doing with my business, of course. But the bottom line is that you need to listen to these wealthy people that have been there, done that, and educate yourself. That's what, for crying out loud, I just get so fired up that so many people are listening to, Lil Wayne and Cardi B and Drake. And, I bet every single lyric to Kiki, Do You Love Me? But I bet you have no idea 3 talking points from Think and Grow Rich or, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I mean, tell me the 10 or 12 chapters in Think and Grow Rich. Do you know the first one's thoughts are things, desire, faith, action? Do you guys know that the next one's auto-suggestion? Do you guys know that there's a whole chapter in there called the Mystery of Sex Transmutation? Do you know these titles? Do you even know what chapters are in a book that was written 100 years ago talking about success? Probably not. But I bet you know every single lyric to, Thunderstruck or some song by Guns N' Roses. And again, I'm not getting in your grill. I'm not trying to challenge you to be a jerk. I mean, I'm really not. You guys know me sincerely. I challenge you to be an entrepreneur. I challenge you to take full responsibility. That's what being a man is. That's what being a woman of character, a man of character. That's what it's called, leading. And so every single problem that you got going on right now, it's your fault. Like, I heard somebody say that once and I got pissed because I'm like, no. This person did this to me. The economy did this to me. This person did me wrong. That person did me wrong. Nature versus nurture, man. I didn't get, a silver spoon. Nobody paid for my college. I wasn't qualified to go to college. I wasn't a minority. I wasn't a majority. I wasn't this. I wasn't that. No, dude. Take some responsibility. The minute you stop pointing fingers at every single thing in life and every single problem, you'll start noticing your life will start to get better that much quicker because it ends with you. Every single day as an entrepreneur, it ends with you. So again, I'm not for real. You guys know me. I love you guys. I care about you guys. The reason I say this stuff is because I love and care about you guys. And I don't want to see you guys hurt. I don't want to see people, having bad days. I don't want to see anybody lose business. So you got to spend time educating, learning, and networking. I mean, I say this all the time on podcasts. You got to spend time learning, educating, and networking. And so everybody that's been listening to music, everybody's listening to the DJ, everybody that knows every single rap song, you've been to every single concert. Well, while that guy is learning all the songs to Drake and going to the Drake concert and living it up and getting turned up, good for him. I'm listening to a podcast, I'm studying something out of a book, some self-help book, that people just make fun of. And I'm going to a networking event like a Techo Block. I'm going to a networking event like a GIE Expo, right? So let's keep it going. Here's a practical piece of advice. Get rid of the ego. In times like this, you got to do some different things. You have to be creative. There's times where you're going to have to slash prices. There's some times when you're going to have to subcontract. There's times when you're going to have to work for other people. There's times where, strength together, building a network is huge. With what do I mean specifically? Let's say that your business is down 25%, but your other friend across town just got 3 big contracts, or $250,000 of work, and one's a maintenance contract, one's a hardscaping. He has to do a whole new retaining wall because something fell over winter and they couldn't work on it until spring. And then somebody else has a concrete whole sidewalk there, or tunnel that they got to rip out. I don't know, just giving some examples, right? This is a big university. They're doing online classes, but it's still business as usual. Okay, no problem. You lost 25% of your business. Your friend has 200% more business than he can really handle. And so I see so many people that say, well, I don't want to subcontract. I don't want to work for somebody. I don't want to humble my ego to take an $800 a week paycheck to go work for somebody else while they've got the work. So here's one thing I'd say is humble the ego a little bit, man. I mean, there's so many times where in the fall, I've got this $150,000 business. We've got all this good stuff going on. I'm just kidding, dude. Like we're just regular normal people, just like you guys. We have good months. We have, mediocre months. And then sometimes there's light months. Well, in the light months, I don't have a big enough ego to say, you know what? If I'm not making $125 an hour, it's not worth it. Or if I'm not, laying bricks, it's not worth it. Heck no. I can tell you guys have seen it in my videos. There's so many videos where I'm working for my friend Brandon. I'm working for my friend Mike. There's other companies that I subcontract out for. My friend Leica. There's times where I'm like, hey, dude, just pay me $20 an hour, $25 an hour, and I'll be more than happy to come work with you for the day. I'll bring my own equipment. You supply the gas, but I'll bring my own blowers. BYOB, bring your own blowers, what we always say. And, we're doing leaf cleanups for somebody else. Why? Because I don't have an ego. I don't have an ego in, here's the deal. It's not like I don't have an ego in, March and November. I don't have an ego the other, 10 months out of the year either, because I'm not too prideful to not go, to work for somebody else, to go network with somebody else who might have more work. So a practical tip is in why you make networks and why you make connections and why you start getting to learn other people around town in your industry. There's no competition. It's got to be, what's the old one? Heathens compete, Christians inspire. So here's the deal. You got to network with other people in the industry. Somebody has work, and if you don't, and you're losing stuff, hey, go work with those people. That's a practical tip. There's the biggest companies around where I live. Trust me, dude, they need help. The biggest national companies, they need labor as much as you need work. Let's work together. Let's band together. So these are just some practical tips that I'm trying to come at you guys. So any which way, spend some time educating yourself. Spend time learning. Spend time networking. Again, where is the opportunity? While everybody else is freaking out, figure out, hey, let's go buy some stocks. Let's go buy some real estate. Let's go XYZ. You're not a profiteer, where you're like trying to make money on somebody else's fear or misery. You're just being a good businessman. You're being a good entrepreneur. One other practical tip I want to give you guys is doubling your marketing. What do you mean doubling your marketing? I mean, doubling your marketing is probably a minimum. Like, for example, right now, I know that everybody is at home. I know everybody's watching YouTube. I know everybody's watching content. Everybody's on their phones. Everybody is listening to the podcast. So what did I do? I reached out to the people I know have successful podcasts, and I said, hey, what's it cost right now to buy 10 ads on your podcast with my Entrepreneur Academy? And they told me a number, and I said, awesome. I said, do you want cash, check, or Bitcoin? How does this work? Because I don't know. I've never bought ads. But I want to grow my podcast. I want to grow my training website to sell more digital products to people to help them grow their lawn and landscape business, right? It's a business. It makes sense. Like, you buy a $20 contract. Okay, we make some money. Of course, you get like this awesome opportunity to have one of our commercial contracts. But here's the deal. I'm trying to advertise that business, and it's a business. Let's just be honest. And so what did I do? The minute things hit the fan, and I heard both my friends talk about how their podcasting numbers are up because everybody's starting to work outdoors that can work. And anybody who's trapped indoors, they're thinking about the outdoors. So now they're all listening to outdoor podcasts. I'm like, okay, where's the opportunity? I'm going to go spend, $1,000 on ads. I text my wife. I go, hey, I just bought 20 ads, on 2 different things. And she goes, really? She goes, that's awesome. She goes, I know you're trying to invest and figure out where to put money. I'm like, yeah, because I got this money in the bank, and you guys have money in the bank, and you got to figure out where you can make your money work. Robert Kiyosaki talks about how they're like little employees, right? And then if they're in the bank earning you 0% interest or 0.015 on a CD or whatever it is, that's not, your employees are not working very hard. You want 2, 5, 8, 10, 12, 15% returns, 100% returns, right? So I'm trying to figure out where to market or where to get business. And to get business, you have to advertise, you have to market. Well, same thing with your lawn and landscape company. There's so many people that are pulling out. There's so many people that are recede. And I'll tell you, the first thing you need to do in a down economy, and I learned this from Grant Cardone, I learned this from Darren Hardy, I learned this from a lot of successful business people, is that when the chips are down, that's the time to advertise. That's the time to spend money on marketing, advertising, and training. The first thing to go in a lot of these companies' budgets is marketing and advertising and training. Well, what is training? Training is like sales skills, closing skills, communication skills, leadership skills, but it really does come down to sales training. What does that mean? Well, every sale counts. So if you're a company that has a showroom floor, of course we want to ask questions. Of course we want to learn, but we want to sell. Like, we have to sell product. So invest into your people, teach them how to do, sales, door to door, phone calls, all this other mess. I don't have a large enough company to speak to that, in tons of examples, obviously, but this is just things that I've learned as I've read them from other successful individuals. For me personally, though, I told Liz, dude, it's funny. I'm in this like weird spot. I can't really grow my company anymore because as an owner operator plus a guy, which is as big as I really want to take my company, we are already kind of like redlining as it is. And we're taking on work and I'm like, I shouldn't be taking on work. But then I throw them a number, some new commercial contract, and they're like, all right, cool. Well, the last 5 people won't return my phone calls. I bid it literally like 30-40% premium. I almost feel like a jerk, but that's the opportunity. That's the opportunist in me that is looking for where can I grow? Where can I succeed? I throw them out some high number and they're like, all right, well, it looks like we're going with you. I'm like, dude, under any normal condition, you would absolutely not take my number. And in fact, find not only the baseline guys, but find somebody cheaper. So you like no in a good economy. It's just see why I get so excited. In a good economy, there's the baseline, and people are trying to like find the 70 to 80% on the dollar, 70 cents on the dollar guy. But in a bad economy, all those guys go out of business. The lowball people, they can't make it because they were cheating the system as it was. They had no margin as it was, and it wipes all those guys out. And I'm not being mean. I'm not being a jerk. It's just the facts, okay? And it doesn't apply just to lawn care landscaping. It applies to every player who's a bottom feeder in every business, marketing, supply chain, automotive, XYZ. So as an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to protect this house, protect your castle. And what do? You make investments, you grow your marketing, you grow your advertising. Well, how can you get all this top dollar stuff if people don't know you exist? Well, again, you have to spend more money on marketing and advertising. This is literally what I'm doing. I told Liz, I go, do it in a week. We're passing out postcards. She's like, well, what if we don't get any calls? I go, what if we get 10 calls, right? What if the last guy went out of business, or the last guy decided to he didn't make it through winter because we had a light winter, and he didn't decide that he wants to carry on with the lawn and landscape company, which sucks. I'm being real. But the other side of me says, well, that guy's now working at Amazon because they're offering, $2 more per hour as a generous contribution to those people already earning a paycheck. And that guy wants to go make $700 a week guaranteed versus, being an entrepreneur. And what's an entrepreneur? Somebody who takes the full risk and responsibility for an enterprise, which usually correlates to a large financial risk. Well, that guy wasn't an entrepreneur. That guy was a fakeapreneur. That guy was a instrapreneur. What's an instrapreneur? That's an Instagram entrepreneur. Everybody wants to take a photo when it's good, but where's all the photos when it's bad? Because when the sky is falling out and it's a meteor shower and the world is ending, I'm here like on the Titanic, playing my little music, playing my little violin, going down with the sinking ship. Why? Because that's what I subscribe to. And you know what? I got my little bucket in hand, and we're dumping the water out of this boat as fast as we can. And that's called being a small business owner. So if you want the up, you got to be willing to take the downs. It's just, you got to go with the punches, man. If you want to enjoy the sweet, you have to enjoy the sour. So any which way, here's the last thing I'll wrap up with. just know that I appreciate you guys. Just know that I love you guys. Just know that I'm praying for you guys. Just know that I'm not trying to sound like a shark. My heart is not intended to be sounding like a shark right now with anything that's going on with this pandemic. I think it will pass over. I think it will blow over. Whether it's in the end of March, whether it's 2 weeks from now, April 1st, whether it's July, August, where they say it could be like absolute worst case scenario for like the peak of the pandemic, and then everybody gets sick or quarantined, or it just diffuses and life goes on. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. What I do know is that there's going to be ramifications for bad players and good. I hope those people get held accountable. I think that there's going to be a reawakening in this country. Again, I'm an opportunist. I think there's a lot of people right now that are hitting the reset button. They're hitting the reset button on their life, their finances, how they do business. I mean, there's so many people working from home. We're like, why are we even going to a job when we can just work remotely? Maybe it's an upside for more family time, more family units to be stay-at-home family units. Why does everybody need to go back into the office in 4 weeks when everybody else seemed to have managed the last 3 weeks with the world ending? So my opportunist side of me says, hey, more stay-at-home moms, more stay-at-home dads, more work-from-home moms, work-from-home dads. They have vital, critical roles as customer service reps or brokers or salespeople, right? But you can do that from home. Here's the thing. My friend, one of my friends, Jim, he did the AV for me at our live event. He lost every single live event, conference, web seminar for health systems, doctor systems, hotels, everything. He lost all of his business about 3 weeks ago for the next 3 months. Like, my wife went over to Bible study, they were hanging out, and it's not a light situation. Because why? Because his daughter just had their first baby with the son-in-law, and the son-in-law works for dad. So not only did dad lose all of his bookings for the next 90 days, but his daughter just had a baby with his son-in-law, and they lost their primary source of income. And so I'm not saying that this isn't real life, but here's the deal. You know what my friend Jim did? He's an entrepreneur. He takes full responsibility. You know what he did? He said, in the last 2 weeks, he hasn't slept because of how many people are requesting his services to do online webinars, online seminars, online Skype meetings, how he's trying to link up networks with, all the different doctors, all the different health systems, all the different business people that used to go to live events. Well, instead of live events, now they're doing web conferences. They have their Monday check-ins, their Thursday seminars, their Saturday, get-togethers. So what did he do? He evolved. He changed his business. Now he's not the brick and mortar guy, and he learned a new skill set, a new business revenue stream, a new avenue to help people. So he's not the horse and buggy guy where he decided to go out of business. He's the horse and buggy guy that decided to start designing the upholstery seats for that new automobile. Okay, so here's the key takeaway. As an entrepreneur, take full responsibility. Don't start looking to the government. Take full responsibility. Look at you. What are you doing to prep? What are you doing to take care of your finances? What are you doing to diversify your income? What are you doing to grow your income? This is not a time to spend less. This is a time to spend more. And by the way, take care of the other small businesses out there. Buy gift cards, support those businesses, eat out, take a carry out, leave a $20 tip for a girl who might be a 35-year-old, single mom who's got a 10-year-old daughter back at home and she doesn't know how she's going to take care of her. Be a classy person. Spread it around. Don't hoard, don't recede. That's exactly how the economy fails. So, all right, here's the last deal. Let me do this. I've never done this on a podcast, but I want to do it. If you listen to this far, know that I care about you, know that I love you about you, and we're going to pray. Last thing I can always encourage you guys to do in life is pray. Why? Because I think being a person of faith is extremely important, and I know that without Him, nothing is possible. So we're going to start and end with that. So, Father God, we just come before you in the name of Jesus. I just pray on this podcast and any single person that listens to this, whether they know you or they don't know you, Lord, no difference right now. But I just pray that you would have a hedge of protection against anything that would come against this country, the American exceptionalism, America in general. We have an American spirit, Lord, that has been tried and true. We have had so many things thrown in our way. And Lord, I just pray right now that we would have all eyes returned to you to be a God-fearing nation and a country that relies and knows you. We want to turn from our wicked ways, Lord. And for anybody listening to this, I just pray a hedge of protection around them. Financially, I ask, Lord, that you just give them provisions. Lord, I just also ask that you have these people in the palm of your hand with their health. I ask that you would have a hedge of protection over them as well, and that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. That, Lord, you are our healer, and the blood of Jesus covers all things, including coronavirus, which is a name under the Most High name, which is that Lord Jesus. So, God, I just pray over all these people that are listening to this podcast. I pray over all these people that they would be financially stable, financially successful. And not only that, Lord, that they know your blessings and they know what it's like to live in the overflow and the blessings, and that they would just have supernatural growth with their companies and their businesses and their lives. I pray right now that anybody's listening to this in the sound of my voice, Lord, that they get to know you and develop a personal relationship with you, because, Lord, we know that one day you will come back and this world will be made whole. This world will be made righteous, and that everybody who has accepted your Son as their Savior, Lord, will be saved. So I just pray right now in the name of Jesus that everybody's listening to this that is blessed, that they're taken care of, that they have provision and financial blessings in their life, and that this country would be in better shape in the next 2 to 4, 6 weeks, Lord, than it was in the last 2 to 4 weeks. And we just thank you for it in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys. Hey, I love you guys. I care about you. If I get in your grill, it's because it's out of tough love. All right. That's just the bottom line. I've had a lot of tough love pushed into me the last 10, 12 years. Sometimes I don't like it. I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it. And then after I leave it, I'm like, you know what? That was good stuff. So, all right. Hey, guys, this is another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Just know that I appreciate you guys. I'm rooting for you. I'm pulling for you. Keep working together. Keep encouraging each other. Keep praying for each other, man. Let's make it through this this pandemic, this nonsense, and let's make sure that we all see each other on the other side. All right, guys, over and out. Fullerton Unfiltered. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.